Is this heaven?
No, it's a podcast. Welcome to the Field of Geeks podcast.
You are very fragile, Captain Mercer.
There's an anti-bullying law named after me. Yes, I'm aware of it.
You haven't really inspired anyone with all that much confidence.
I've had some personal stuff that's been going on. It's not really worth going into. Can I have one of these mints?
Those are marbles.
We want the clown alive.
Wait! I think it's only prudent to caution everyone to watch out for pies.
At this point, anything is possible. So yes, pies, seltzer bottles, balloon animals, be alert.
You got this, right?
Yeah.
Why'd your voice just get so high-pitched?
Huh?
Your voice just got really high-pitched just then.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. You were like, yeah.
No, it's all good.
Well, then what was the high pitch?
It's fine, I got this.
Who would need a ship that?
Welcome to Field of Geeks, episode 87. I'm Steve.
I'm Josh.
Mitch.
And that's the show.
All right.
So we'll see you all next week. Appreciate everybody's time.
This is a great,
Back in town.
I know, right?
a great reunion show.
Trying to keep it, short and sweet, succinct.
Well, we said our piece before we hit record.
We did.
So
I think we've covered
we're
it all.
exhausted.
Yeah,
we're exhausted.
So if you can find the hidden tape of that, good luck.
And great job, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, this show, I think, was just... It could
Your
have gone
input,
smoother.
Steve.
Right.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right. And the amount of editing you'll have to do, very small.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing.
It works out for all of us. So, yeah.
But yeah, no, welcome
Happy.
aboard. We're missing Joey. He's
Yes.
still under the weather a little bit. He lost both of his legs in a car accident. Which
half
is
the man he
sad.
used to be.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And I just tell him, pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
Or your nubs, whatever.
Right. Whatever. No.
Right.
He's just got a cold or
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah,
His
yeah.
voice is kind of in and out. So hopefully he'll get better and be back with us soon.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or we'll just have a cool, smoky voice on the show. I don't know.
Mr. Raspy Joey. Yeah, let's don't do that. Let's let him wait it out.
Yeah.
Until he feels
A
better.
little bit. Here's some water.
Little creepy. So, just a few things to talk about today. We've got some Punisher to talk about, some comic movies, some generic stuff there, and Enola Holmes, which is a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know
the
about.
new craze.
It's a new craze.
I just learned about.
So I'm excited to learn about it because being a senior citizen myself, you kids today and what you get into, that's going to be
What we make up.
right. What you make up, and what with your honky tonks, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
Preview, Sherlock has a sister now.
Yes, there you go. So Jodie Foster, with
Not
some
in that.
editorial on comic book movies, some Brian Michael Bendis DC news, comic books in general as far as the business, and then what are we watching on TV? So let's dive into the Punisher. Mitch, you just wrapped it up.
Oh man, what a show! What a show! It kind of felt almost a little bit like watching Daredevil when we first saw him, although he did have the suit already in the first episode, and then somehow or another he decided to retire it and then kind of go rogue and finish out his final mission. I feel like I'm getting into spoiler territory, so I apologize.
Go ahead, it's been out for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we waited, 4+ weeks to
I think
divulge a
everyone's good.
spoiler on something, and we lost one person. So.
Hey, if you're spoiled, still go back and watch it.
Yeah.
It's worth the time.
Yeah.
It's awesome to watch. It's great.
The one thing I'm really sad about is the fact that a sidekick, that was just a story arc for the season. I really had hoped that he was going to be more of a showrunner.
Oh, yes. His computer.
Yeah,
buddy,
his
right?
computer.
Microchip.
Yes. Big character in the comics, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of his Alfred.
Yeah. And maybe he's going to be back. I don't know. The way that they kind of wrote it, though, is that he kind of finished that storyline, helped
He'll
him
be back.
get back to his family, which was a big contentious point throughout the entire thing. Extremely well written. I was screaming at the TV at the very end when I thought Microchip had died. But no, and then they opened up the body bag and poof, there he is.
Like,
so
if he doesn't get united with his family,
I was so mad.
Pissed.
Yeah, and then he gets shot. But I had heard, because I kind of left it open for that guy that he did not kill in the merry-go-round.
Mr. Jigsaw.
Yes, Jigsaw, that he will be back possibly, but definitely a fractured face and a little bit
I
more
cringed
scarred.
when he took his face
yeah.
down the mirror.
Yeah. I love the fact that there was a no holds bar on the amount of gore. That comic needs it. And Netflix is the appropriate place to not shy away from that kind of stuff. So I'm glad that it wasn't on like Fox or ABC or something like that, or God forbid NBC.
Yeah.
Because let's not show a comic true. Just an amazing. The actor I can't say enough about that played the Punisher.
John Barenthal.
Yep.
Yes, he finally got it, and if true. Because there's a story where John was talking about going to a comic book store to learn more about the Punisher, and came up to the checkout counter, and the guy goes, "No, you're not reading these. This is what you need to focus on."
Yeah.
So big kudos to the fat guy behind the checkout counter.
Sure.
And I cannot wait for season 2.
It's just excellent casting. I never thought, like my fantasy list cast Frank Castle. I never thought of him.
No.
And he's got the perfect face because I think he was a boxer at one point, so his nose is really kind of jacked
He is
up
to Frank Castle what Ryan Reynolds is to Deadpool.
There
You
you
know
go.
what I mean?
Yep.
Guys that are just born to play a certain role.
Yes.
Just totally nailed it, I mean, great show.
Yes.
This show to me is just so great, and it ranks up there better than, I'll take that show over any Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America Winter Soldier. It ranks up there with that for me. Dark Knight, Wonder Woman. There's key pieces that are just really great and stand out.
Yeah.
And the Punisher has to be one of those things. It's unbelievable. It was pretty cool.
When they go into the lair and he has all those booby traps set up,
Yes.
just amazing.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, which wasn't a surprise,
No.
but it was still amazing to watch.
Well, and I think the first episode, because it's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure it begins with Frank chasing two guys on a road with a van. He just plows into them.
And then he runs over 'em.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or how about
Oh, that's awesome.
Really set the tone, didn't it?
oh god, the hard part was every episode reliving like his wife getting gunned down. Like he'd wake up and there'd be like different parts of it, and then the whole montage where he finally was like, "Well, do I finally release myself of all this aggression and go with her, or do I stay back on?"
A lot of that stuff was very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
tragic, very tragic.
Very tragic, and they not only was it a great ass-kicking series with cool
Yeah.
stuff, but, I mean, you talk about addressing PTSD in a real way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great way, yeah.
Just, I mean, what a hats off. And I know he himself has talked about how he's glad he could bring those issues to the forefront.
Yeah.
Sure.
We have people in our military every day that are offing themselves because they don't know how to live.
Right.
When they get back, and it's the worst thing in the world, and so something like this that kind of brings that to light, that doesn't do anything but help it,
Sure. And
pretty cool.
I haven't had a chance to read any reviews from veterans. I don't know I'm sure they're out there on the internet, but I'm just curious as they were, exploring these storylines, how's a veteran feel about this material? Because I think to me it speaks to them quite a bit. I mean, it's a fictionalized show,
Sure.
but it does actually deal with.
It brings in real elements to it,
for
which
sure.
is what makes it a great show.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's not 8 jokes every 2 minutes.
No, there's very little joking. I loved there was kind of a little middle storyline kind of midway through that younger kid that
Sad.
was battling that and also went rogue, and every evil character in there was evil. It wasn't like, oh, how are they going to make him evil? As a big name guy. Is it believable? No, it was all very believable, even with the CIA guy who had that glass eye or whatever it was, to the guy who was with, what was it, Jigsaw?
Yep.
Yeah, he was believable and played very well between the good guy and the bad guy, with that lady who was a cop.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone was just knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
Even the lady's mom, she has that voice. It's like a smoky voice, but it's kind of cool. Like she's been in a few movies. I don't know her name, but I thought it was interesting. Her relationship with the main detective lady, and we got to see Thomas C. Howell. Is that right?
Yeah.
It was brief, but
It was brief, but we saw him.
man, that was pretty brutal,
Yeah, it was.
but deserved.
What scene was that again?
He was the head of the FBI, I believe. In the beginning.
He was. It was either the FBI chief guy or one of the task force heads. But he
knew about Castle's what was going to happen to his
Punisher
family.
took him
and
out.
Oh yeah.
And his
Oh,
house
that was-
there. Yeah,
That was awesome.
It's a good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was happy to see him. Like, hey, he's on his show.
I know,
Oh,
man.
He's gone.
he's done a good job, I think, in his later years. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He pops up in like
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man. He had
Right.
kind of a weird, odd part. I mean, I don't know.
It's good to see him. Good to see him working.
Right, because he was
Thomas Howell.
there. You see Thomas Howell. I was kind of close, right? Yeah.
You said Thomas C. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Thomas C. Thomas C. is his
Peter
brother's
Thomas C.
neighbor's,
is a
yeah.
comic book guy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's cool to have. And I saw some other character actors in that show that I hadn't seen for a while.
Yeah, from season 2's ago.
Yeah. Already
You know?
locked.
Yeah, already locked and loaded, and they're still going to continue production in New York. They said.
Sweet. Yes.
So they're not going to.
No Florida.
Yeah, nothing's going to change up as far as kind of the look of the series and the feel of it. So that'll be good. But I just can't wait.
Did he ever join the Defenders?
I didn't see Defenders, but I don't recall him joining them in the comics.
Okay, I was just curious if if they do another Defenders run on Netflix, if he's going to be a part of it. I would really be cool. But
if not, at least some sort of cameo or something.
Right.
Which would be pretty sweet.
Like he'd be on a roof helping them out.
Yeah.
Like Daredevil season 2. Yeah.
But that show's not without its controversy.
Sure.
He was John Barenthal was talked to about some of the Charlottesville protesters, the big alt-right thing that was going on, and people wearing Punisher shirts and stuff. And his response was very Punisher-like, very Frank Castle-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
F them.
Right.
That's all he said.
Yeah.
It was just pretty funny.
Nothing else needed to be said.
Yeah, it's like, he completely nails the character just in the response.
You don't need to go into it further with him.
Yeah, no.
Simply said what he
2 words, and
needed
that's
to say.
enough.
Yeah.
What else do you need, right? I mean, it was just pretty funny.
Good for him, because I think a lot of people were worried about that. Because everyone likes, a lot of people like the Punisher, from vast areas, and it means a lot to, especially the symbol, to the military and everything. And for him to do that, I think that was really cool. Just to say, like, no, I'm not at all
I'm not
giving into that.
Right, I'm not going to, sanction, idiocy.
Right.
Yeah.
On a
like, my character's
big
not
level.
for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So that was, good show, though. I'm glad you watched it. I'm
Yeah.
glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Did your wife watch it with you?
She did. She said that she thought it was better than even Daredevil.
Nice.
Ranked right up there as one of the top for her. So
Good. Yeah, because my wife loved it, too.
Yeah.
She watched it all the way through, and she doesn't typically do that with some
No.
of the shows. And, man, it was... So it's cool how it can grip people that are a little outside the genre sometimes.
Right. Yeah, like my wife and I watched Jessica Jones together. We just, because of our schedules, it's hard for us to both sit down and watch, and I just couldn't wait anymore. So I've continued on.
Yeah.
And, I finished up Defenders and, Punisher, of course. So, yeah, I think the next show coming will be Jessica Jones Season 2.
Yeah.
My wife's actually excited about that. Like, she even said it before I really talked to her about it.
Yeah.
Like, Jessica Jones come back.
She knows.
We still got Daredevil. Like, I got to show
Right.
you these other shows. Like, man, they're so good. I've been very, very happy with all of them. So
Yeah, the Marvel work on Netflix has just overall been really great. That's a keep that mood. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's just really great. Good
yeah, it'll
stuff.
be interesting if Disney ever pulls them from Netflix without having a Netflix involvement to see if those shows can really. I'm sure they'll be different shows.
I hope they stay with Netflix.
My whole thing is I think a lot of it's Netflix too.
Yeah.
That's making a good show. They're all over the place with great shows.
Right. And if Disney's going to pull it for streaming or something like that, you're not going to see what we're seeing now. There are going to be huge changes, and
the Punisher should be
I
like,
like
"Are
what
you
we
okay?"
have. Right, exactly.
MacGruber.
The Punisher is giving timeouts. That's the punishment now. It's not, a hot lead
he's got
to
a
the
board.
skull, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't make me use this. Wearing a suit and give me a
Did
break.
someone order a Punisher? Oh God!
Yeah, it'd be a
Click.
right. And give him some sort of sidekick dog or something, And
Canine.
but yeah, all right. So moving away from Punisher, going into Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 2 is also locked and loaded. There's a little bit of it was up in the air a little bit, because of the amazing critical response they got.
Yeah.
But the big 3 stars are set to return: Jared Leto, Margot Robbie, and Will Smith.
Oh,
So,
perfect.
yeah, they're all
Right.
set to come back in, and it's funny that Jared Leto is going to come back after stating some of the displeasure that he had with the first one. So to get him to come back, I'm wondering what his role is going to look like.
Yeah.
They're going to put him to the forefront. I get that critique. He should have been the main villain or what have you.
For sure.
Instead we just got a weird look at him, and then poof, he's gone. And...
I don't think it was a fair judgment of his Joker from what we got, because the scenes they selected for that film were they could have been warm-up scenes. If you insert the other scenes where he was able to go more into the character or do some of the things we've come to know him to do, I think it would have been more acceptable. But I don't think it's fair enough to judge him. I just don't think we haven't gotten enough, really, to go on.
And even what we have, I didn't mind at all. I mean, the Joker's supposed to be insane. I mean, there's nothing redeeming about the Joker at all. And he's supposed to be weird, and he's supposed to be just completely out there. That's what we got, So, I mean, let's see more.
The look.
Right.
Like white makeup, bright green hair.
Yeah.
Purple jacket, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not even subtle, just boom, loud and proud.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't mind it at all. So it will be interesting to just see what, the second movie brings and how that's going to flesh out. But Gavin O'Connor is slated to write and direct it. So he also directed Ben Affleck in The Accountant.
Oh, perfect.
Have you guys seen that one?
I've heard wonderful things about that.
Amazing show. Yeah. Watch it. Yeah, it was on HBO, and so I had a boring day where I'm flipping around.
Yeah,
what
sure.
Can I watch? No one's home, and I settled on that, and I liked it so much I watched it that night again when my wife got off work. I'm like, "You've got to watch this movie." So I watched it twice in a row.
The direction, though, you think is good too?
It is,
right.
And The Accountant is not. At least if he's going to take any sort of that direction style to this, it's not going to be near as choppy and crazy. He really slows it down and is more character driven, and hopefully that'll be the direction.
Yeah, I mean, I like David Ayer, but I think if the most that the sequel needs is a good editor.
Right.
Last time it was basically a trailer company who edited the film. So again, I don't think it's fair to judge Dave Ayer on that last movie. I just don't think it's fair.
Right.
They kind of like Snyder. It's not fair to really judge these guys. All their projects were chopped up and recycled. Right.
And the biggest thing is, if Warner Brothers continues to be Warner Brothers, it's not going to be a great film. It's just not. So I mean, that's one thing we have to try and hopefully avoid. But
I hope this is it's our second official president of DC Films. I hope that it's going to turn it around, and
we'll see.
We stick to a plan.
Yeah, I'll believe all of it when I see it, because right now the only thing that just stands out huge is Wonder Woman.
Right.
The other stuff had great moments and cool things, and unquestionably, but it was it could have been so much better.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how much involvement really was within Warner Brothers and Wonder Woman itself. If it was more of a hands-off film, thinking, this isn't going to do well anyway, so let's just let them.
Sadly, I think Wonder Woman was given a lot of freedom because they didn't have a lot of faith in Wonder Woman.
That, and they also didn't want to be the people, I think, that said to the woman director.
Yes, Patty Jenkins. Yep.
Yeah. So I think, in a weird way, political correctness may have saved that movie.
Yeah.
And as a result, political correctness finally was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I'm not a fan of that at all, but at the same time,
right.
Yeah, she's basically just said, no, I'm doing it this way, and they just let her do it finally,
right.
And so, perfect.
Yes, dear.
So the big challenge is going to be...
Have her direct everything in the DC.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people say. Yeah, the Warner Bros. Just shut up.
Right.
Like, the sequel coming, so that's going to be a challenge, because I think any sequel's a challenge for many reasons, but I think one of the big ones is studio involvement. Like, oh, we have a hit here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some more money, but we're going to have more say. So
yeah.
That worries me.
Right.
But,
and, The Accountant was really good. And again, O'Connor, he's got a few writing credits under his belt too that are pretty big. And so I'm confident in him.
Sure.
We'll see what they let him do. You know? So hopefully it'll be good. Enola Holmes. Sherlock's got a sister, right?
He's got a sister. Because
at first I thought it sounded like a boat to me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. But now I know that this is a thing. So.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know until the other day. Millie Bobby Brown. She plays 11 on Stranger Things. She's really the one that put the spotlight on this whole Enola Holmes. I had no idea. I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, if you took her away from it, I guess maybe the success of the book series, which is it's a 6-book novel series by author Nancy Springers. And I mean, aside from that, I would just think, it's just a cash grab.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got another sibling, because I really didn't know of Mycroft. I'm sure Mycroft was in old books, but I really didn't know until the movies and things like that. And of course, it expands the universe. So Millie Bobby Brown being attached to this project, it seems promising. I mean, she's only 13. She's going to be starring in it. She's a great actress from Stranger Things, so I think she could knock it out of the park. And she's British, so she's got that cool accent going for her. So, yeah, she's also going to produce it. And she's only 13, which is nuts, because when I was 13, nothing. TV watching, that's about it.
Right.
Nothing.
I wasn't even sure what directing was when I was 13.
Yeah, I didn't care back then,
Why don't you just stand over here and do some things?
Batman Forever is awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Did you get the McDonald's cup? I did.
That always makes me a little nervous. I'm guessing that there's an adult supervision kind of thing going
I'm
on.
sure there is. She's
Just
probably,
ever so slightly.
It's
but she's
probably
getting the
more
main
just
nod.
getting more money from the project, starring payout and then producing payout.
Right.
She has to say so in the direction of the films, I think, the directors. So I think that's also the other thing. She wants to kind of choose who she wants to work with, maybe. Maybe it's the kids from Stranger Things. It's like, just cast them in everything. I love those
That'd be
kids.
awesome. She becomes the new Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Just brings along all of her actor friends.
Right.
Every project, all the time.
Yeah. Enola Holmes was a character that I guess Mycroft and Sherlock didn't really know about. And in the first book, The Case of the Missing Marquis, she is looking for her mom, I believe. And so they meet up and realize they're all siblings. And they have an adventure. So 6-part miniseries, so it's probably like another Harry Potter type of franchise, maybe. Not sure. I'll give it a shot. I'm still wanting the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes.
God, I would love a third movie.
And last I knew, they were working on it, but I don't
They
know if
always
they're
talk
still-
about it, and then every once in a while he'll tease something with a picture, and nothing happens.
Well, there's one time where he's like, I could make these movies every other, but then he really got into the Marvel movies, and he's done The Judge, but he hasn't really done anything else outside that. So that'll be interesting once he walks away from Marvel, if he can pick up other movies. But I really hope there's a 3 still, even though we've had the Benedict Cumberbatch series, which was great, and this Enola Holmes series. Hopefully they can all coexist and we can still get our completion, if not further adventures of Downey's Sherlock Holmes.
Well, now it's been, over 7 years since the last one?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has. It has. So it'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. Who knows?
Hopefully
She's
Watson
13,
is still married.
This girl.
It's crazy.
And look at everything she's doing. I mean, that's amazing. Batman Forever, you were 13 when that came out? Ish?
When did that come out?
I might have been a little older.
Really?
I was 95.
Was it 95?
Yeah. So, I was...
You were probably 14?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I stretched it a little bit, but still.
When I was 13, Blade Runner and E.T. were out.
Oh.
That's how old I
lucky.
am. So,
You even got to see it where the police officers were holding actual guns and not walkie-talkies.
Which they have now taken out again. They put the guns back.
Oh, did they?
Last I knew, they
Thank
put the guns
God.
back because it looked really stupid.
Yeah.
They're all like,
You have like
walkie-talkie.
one hand way up here holding a huge walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they gave him big ones too. It's like gun-sized walkie-talkie.
1980 had analog
It's
walkie-talkies.
like the comb in Spaceballs in the
Right.
desert. That's how big they were. Stupid. You know what's funny though? Like I showed my daughter the one with the walkie-talkies. They still say like dick breath and things like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want my kid hearing this.
Right.
Like there's movies from even our childhood that I like Home Alone of all things. They said a few things in there. I'm like, ooh, what? No.
Yeah.
But we kept watching. I just
Well,
said bad
listen.
word.
Listen to Richard Pryor jokes back in the day. I mean, nobody would basically air him. I mean, he was just so rated X in his comedy, and now that's pretty much the norm.
Pretty much, yeah. Getting off a little topic, but SNL had a F-bomb last night. This is Sunday we're recording, so last night they had an F-bomb by Sam Rockwell, which I haven't seen
I
it
hadn't
yet.
seen it either. I usually wait until it's the next
It'll probably
day
be on
Hulu.
YouTube.
It doesn't bother me anymore. They have them once in a while.
who cares
I think we're
anyway,
just
but-
so used to it. I mean, look overseas, like,
Yeah.
in United Kingdom, I think they've had television like that for years.
Right.
Like nudity, cursing.
There's no FCC overseas.
Right.
So
Yeah. They just get
it's a
fined,
different
right?
culture.
If they say,
Oh,
Yeah.
well, they could. They don't always, but it just. I think if you're watching Saturday Night Live and you're expecting wholesome comedy, you're watching the wrong show.
Yeah.
So just
hey, kids, come on
right?
over.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't watched Saturday
Big
Night Live
deal.
forever.
So Jodie Foster given some editorial opinions on comic book movies. She says specifically that it's bad content to appeal to the masses and shareholders. And before the next comment that I'm going to mention, she's got a point. But at the same time, in that point, appealing to the masses is fine because you want to make money, right? You have to be able to be profitable to continue to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
And films like Avengers or films like, Star Wars, that type of money that comes in can help fund littler, smaller projects and, all those things. It's not just money that goes into someone's pocket, that gets used for the company. And so, when she talks about, just appealing to the masses, well, that's not always a bad thing.
No, because isn't that what the whole movie
That's the
industry
point.
is? Entertainment itself is about that, isn't it?
Well, if we
Right.
took her principles, then Deadpool would suck
Right, totally.
and Punisher would suck.
Now, when she says to the shareholders, that I agree with.
That's where we get Justice League.
And that's where we get Justice League. That's where we get the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
That's where we get anything that someone has stepped in when they shouldn't be stepping in.
Correct.
So I agree with her. She's batting 500 with me so far on the comment. You know what I mean? So
I mean, yeah, let's face it. She's not a dumb person.
No.
Like she's
oh my gosh,
accomplished so
and she's
much.
an amazing actress.
Yes.
I mean, come on. I mean, she is phenomenal in pretty much anything she does. And so, her opinion has some weight to it. But like everyone, no one's everybody's got opinions that aren't always right. The next comment was, she said it's ruining the viewing habits of the American population and then ultimately the rest of the world. That's where I think we're getting on the, hype
a deep-
train.
yeah.
It's like
a little
burning
bit.
books.
I mean,
territory.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
They're just movies.
they're just movies. If you don't like them, don't, just like anybody, don't watch them.
Right.
Thor and Hulk. I'm sure it was fun to watch. I'm still waiting for the video. I didn't, Spider-Man, I waited for the video. I just, these things where I'm not 100% sure that when I go into the movie, I'm going to walk out being all jazzed up. Just don't watch it or wait, and
I could see that comment being true if you were forced to watch every Marvel movie that came out.
yeah, but you're not.
Like it was,
right?
yeah. Then that's understandable. But this is one where you can actually pick and choose. You don't want your kids playing a violent video game? Don't buy it for them.
Yeah, don't let them. And so again, where I think she has a little bit of merit, on the shareholder piece of it, I think by and large that message is just, it's her opinion. She's welcome to it, of course. I don't happen to agree with it, but
yeah,
it's just funny that she
Yeah.
seems so passionate about it.
Well, it's like, it's like maybe it's an opportunity to everyone up their game,
Yeah.
I think if anything, if you got to break through that whole comic book area, you have to make something very good and make it count.
Right.
Make the material really good, worth the time. She's put in some stinkers, and
Yeah, everybody does.
I think it's lazy to be mad at these movies just because, you got to up your game a little bit.
Right.
It's all for entertainment. And hey, look at the Oscars. Last I checked, last movie that got nominated for Best Picture that was comic book was Dark Knight, I think.
Right.
Now you can, talk about special effects and screenplay maybe, I don't know, but it's like the way she's saying it is like, yeah,
It dominates everything.
nominated
Right.
is all comic books, and it's
Yeah.
like, come on, that's a little silly.
Right.
But you remember there was a period of time right before the big comic book breakout where they were recycling movies. Hollywood's gotten stale. All of a sudden, Marvel comes in, original storylines. They've had time to develop these characters. They have a lot of source material to choose from. And then everybody just stops caring.
Yeah.
And so basically comic books take over. When have you seen an Oscar-nominated movie do better than a Marvel movie in the box office? Yeah, it's critically acclaimed. Yeah, it wins an award. But it doesn't make near as much money as the Justice League or
Batman versus
Avengers.
Superman or
Right.
whatever,
Right. It's because they've gotten stale.
Sure.
And now she's pissed off about it.
Well, and it also might be in a strange way a calling card like, hey, Marvel, DC asked me to direct something.
Yeah.
So maybe that's in a way what she's trying to do. It's funny though because one of her best friends is Robert Downey Jr. So that's kind of like a slap in his face. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I don't think he believes what he does is like that.
No, I don't think so either.
You know?
Otherwise, he wouldn't continue to do it. You know.
No, I mean, of course, he's getting paid a lot of money, but I still think that at the end of the day, he's an artist and he wants to entertain people, and
or has she just been overlooked for the paycheck? You know, and I mean,
yeah. Well, it's like it's really a shame because it's like, what about Patty Jenkins? Do you think about?
Yeah, did she see Wonder Woman? I'd like to see what her opinion might have been on that. You know, because I mean, that was critically and commercially successul,
right?
You know, that film was so. And it deserved it.
Comic book characters can be just as meaningful as other characters created, for movies. And like last night, my daughter had a few friends over. One of them came out in some Wonder Woman pajamas, like a nice hoodie. And I was like, hey, those are really sharp. And she's like, yeah, thank you. My mom says I can be here someday. And it's like, wow, that's really powerful. Yeah. And it doesn't mean she's going to be a freaking superhero, but it's
a mentality you're passing on, in the hope and that sort of thing.
Adapt that great. I can do it,
right.
And apply it to anything you do. And, a lot of these movies I think are smart. They're really, I think they're much better than they used to be. It's like she hasn't watched the movies in the last 10 years.
Well, and I think the ire is drawn to the wrong place. She's blaming comic book movies and that sort of thing for what's being chucked out. I'd blame the creators more than I would.
Yeah.
It's like in comic books when someone says, this character's stale, and they complain about a character. And to me, it's like, well, maybe the writing team is stale, maybe the art is stale.
Right.
I think that your imagination is not limited, but you limit it when you're saying that something's stale or this genre is just not good.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people move up this way. They become actors, directors, writers. Why not? I know some have, but why don't some of them go even further up the ladder, like managing the whole company or being one of the higher ups that calls shots, because you work yourself up and you probably have the skills to not make so many damn messes. But, it can backfire, too. Some people thinking they know everything, and which happens all the time.
They can go work at Warner Brothers.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And here's another food for thought. How long has it been since you've actually been excited to see an actual director movie?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, when I see a Clint Eastwood movie coming out, I'll go see it. Somebody else makes another movie like Marvel. I mean, you can interchange so many directors in that. As long as it's not McGee or something like that, you're fine.
Thank God.
But or Ewell Bull or whoever that guy is. But yeah, it's been a long time, and Clint Eastwood's the only guy that I'll pay 2 cents to go see something. That and Ron Howard. Ron Howard's another. He's a great. He's director.
Another
great director. Steven Spielberg. Back in the day, man, there was no better. But now it's kind of like...
Was it the 70s that directors became more of a popular, like, I'm going to go see this because of this director? Because I'm sure...
I think in the whole Godfather piece, and then
Lucas,
Scorsese,
Francis
Lucas,
Ford Coppola,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that stuff. Those guys kind of started that. But again, you're right, and that's a really good point. I don't know if I'm excited about a ton of directors anymore, or I feel like that's just gone to the wayside.
Yeah.
What was the last Spielberg movie made?
The Post that just came out. That was he's doing Ready Player One, but before
that one looks pretty good.
He hasn't really been Spielberg-esque to me for quite some time.
He's just been kind of sitting in stasis.
Yeah, just kind of
spitting movies out here and there.
Phoning in movies, but a lot of his movies
feels like
late seem like they just don't have an ending. They can't end. There's like, we don't know what to do.
His last great one, I think, was Lincoln. That's where he poured a lot into it.
That was a good movie. Yeah,
Not only did he pour a lot into it, he also dressed up just like any other actor would in the scenes to really portray that this is a serious piece.
Nice.
And it gave credence to the entire movie, and I think it helped the actors realize the importance of what they were trying to portray on screen. So, to me, that was Spielberg's last great one. Now, if Ready Player One's the next...
I hope so.
Big Spielberg one. Because, man, we got some duds from him lately. And George Lucas, we all know, phoned it in and sold the rights to all of his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I guess for her, it's like put up or shut up, maybe. I don't know. It's like, Let's see what you can do.
Right. Why complain about it? Why even bring it up? It's. I still think it's misguided.
It comes off
misplaced.
being a snob,
Right.
really.
Yeah.
And, I think she also said, like, oh, I would never do a film for $200 million. But, I looked at some of her past films, and yet she didn't direct these, but she was a part of them.
Uh-huh.
So Contact, she made in 97. That was a $90 million budget. Now, adjusted for today's inflation, it's $138 million.
Yeah.
So you're pushing 200
You're pushing it.
already.
Yeah.
Maverick, 94. That was $75 million to make. Today would be 124. So, it's like
She's been in her own
hypocritical
bigger
a little
movies,
bit.
right?
Yeah. It's like, and she's giving us crap. I didn't like Flight Plan and things like that.
Panic
I thought
Room.
that was dumbing down the
Was
audience.
she in
really.
Elysium? Or,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. I didn't see that one, but I've heard it didn't really go well.
It was
with a lot of
visually
people.
pretty cool movie,
Right.
but is utterly pretty forgettable.
Sure.
As far as the movie itself and the story, all I can tell you is there were some bad guys and some good guys,
Yeah.
and some really cool visuals,
That's funny
and
because
that's it. That's all I can remember.
aren't
Yeah.
there bad guys and good guys in comics?
And cool visuals.
Is that possible?
No, it's impossible.
It's just it makes me so mad. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why do people got to do this? Like, and look, she's even friends with Mel Gibson, who was entertaining the idea of directing Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
And he was in Expendables 3, a dumb action movie. I liked it, but it's a dumb action movie.
Right.
It's not like, oh, we're here to,
Yeah, they're not trying
We
to
need to
change the
change
world.
the
They know
world,
what they're
man.
doing when they make
Yeah.
Expendables.
we got Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
But in that kind of a
Machine
movie,
gun.
you already know that it's just a whole bunch of 80s actors that were big names back then. It's not going to be serious. It's going to
the
be
biggest
goofy.
selling point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's a
their-
great movie.
Yeah, they can add to their 401k when they make it. Just
Yeah.
gives them some more money. Big deal.
Right. And
there's an
Gibson-
audience for
yeah,
it.
of course. Gibson was in Daddy's Home 2.
Yeah.
Which, the first one was funny, right? But it's like, are you taking a stab at him too? Or,
Yeah.
it's like, you got to be careful who
Well,
you
he'll be
say
in the
that.
next Lethal Weapon.
Right. Yeah.
So
And holy crap, Jumanji. Where's that coming from?
Yeah.
yeah, that's out now, right?
Yeah.
That thing's staying strong for like 4 weeks.
It's dumbing down people.
That's
Yeah,
dumb.
because we're
people.
all dumb.
I would like to see a movie with nothing but good guys and then just have a really tough time making it because they're just trying to decide what to do next.
Yeah, they're just
man.
It's just like a weekend.
That would make $5 million.
Hey man,
good
you
thing.
hungry? Sure.
Yeah.
Do you want some food? Yeah. What would you like? Chicken. That's great. I have some in the refrigerator.
It's free range.
Hey, don't dumb it down with free range.
Well,
It's got to be chemically treated.
well, I don't know. I think better for the environment, and
Oh,
It's
All
going
right.
to change the world.
Well, enough about this crap. she can just go
Yeah.
chill out. She's
Yeah, it's like like you. I see your point. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to write her off like, oh, go screw yourself. But it's like,
she has a good half point.
yeah. She had a
I
good
get
half
it.
point, but she really got a little bit more opinionated about it and kind of went off the rails.
Probably had
but
a few drinks.
maybe who knows, right?
A lot of built up rage.
Maybe she's doing heroin again. No, totally kidding.
I'm not
Totally-
mainlining PCP
totally
anymore.
kidding. Not.
Oh, if Steve should have interviewed her. That would have been
Right.
funny.
No, I probably
Really?
wouldn't be a good idea.
Are you? No.
So,
I love that YouTube video.
yeah.
Was that Carson you did?
No, I was her West Virginia accent thing. Her Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah.
Just don't do Nell.
Right?
Don't
No,
do Nell.
no.
No.
So more comic book stuff, not movies this time, but
Dumb
actual
stuff.
comic books. Dumb, stupid crap. Spoilers. Dumb stuff ahead. So DC Comics, Brian Michael Bendis. We've talked about this before on the show that he made the jump from Marvel to DC, and since 2000 he's been synonymous with Marvel Comics. Writing Ultimate Spider-Man. He's done some X-Men. He's done pretty much everything he's done over there. His first work, it's finally been confirmed, is on Action Comics 1000.
Wow.
So it only took since 1938 to get to 1,000 in the numbering. But what a cool way to get him jumped in there, with DC, and the story he's going to do will be the art will be done by the co-publisher of DC Comics, Jim Lee,
Wow.
famous artist, amazing artist.
Nice.
Just incredible. But so it's going to be pretty cool to see. I can't wait to see what he puts out. I'm actually going to get a physical copy of that book. as well as on, Comixology, so I can just read it anywhere and bag that one up.
Sure.
And, they'll make 1 million of those. So, they'll be worth something in like 80 more years from now when I'll be long gone. But, so, someone will have it. So, but yeah, it's pretty neat. And it's going to be an oversized issue with multiple creative teams and doing different stories.
Cool.
And that sort of a thing. So it's going to be really exciting to see. And, how appropriate to have him come in, a huge, big name, and his first work is the big guy himself, Superman.
Of course.
So,
of course.
So it's going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table.
That's cool. And hopefully maybe get involved in the film someday.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, he's created so much great Marvel work, and even though I'm more of a DC guy, I got a ton of Marvel stuff,
Sure.
and his stuff was always great. I mean, I remember reading Ultimate Spider-Man. I got the trade paperback because I didn't get it when it was first new, and I'm like, I'll just...
Yeah.
It was one of those times where I'm at Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, I don't know what to get. I'm like, I've been staring at things for like 4 hours. It felt like 4 hours.
Like, I got to buy something.
Yeah, it was probably like 6 minutes tops. But so I picked it up, and I ended up getting all of them. Wow. It was just really good stuff. And
nice. He's
a great writer, so it's going to be fun to see him finally getting mixed into the fold over at DC.
Sure. That's
but
awesome.
and when he gets over there, hopefully that'll give maybe the industry a little bit of a boost. In December saw a huge drop compared to the month prior in comic sales. So the direct market really dropped from November to December. And then this December versus last December at this time was 16% less. It was pretty big number, and
wow.
While DC led in sales numbers for dollars, Marvel sold more units, but Marvel has more stuff out too.
Sure.
But nonetheless, whether you're a Marvel person, a DC person, or an Image person, whatever, if I could recommend anybody to do anything, it's go out and buy some comics.
Yeah.
I mean, when the industry is already shaky to begin with as far as sales goes, and then you see a huge December plummet, you got to wonder, oh, geez. Let's get back out of that funk,
Yeah. I don't want them to take that away from us.
What I've never been able to fully understand is how do we have all these movies that are making millions of dollars and they can't get the sales to equate over to comic books? What's the disconnect there?
I that's a great question. I don't know why. Well, and they'll go to comics sometimes and they're like, well, this isn't the same Iron Man I'm used to reading. Or this isn't, whatever, Superman and Batman are different or, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, yeah, you'd think there'd be a natural lift at least. I mean, it doesn't have to equate to movie success,
sure.
But you would think that sometimes you'd see a lift, and sometimes you see that when a movie does come out, so like when you see Avengers come out or Spider-Man come out, there's a little bit more interest in Spider-Man. Or whatever the case is. So I don't know. It just sucks to see the...
Yeah, because I mean, you hear these directors, they're like, well, we used inspirations from this comic book series.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you see a whole bunch of people going, okay, well, let's take a look at that and see, what we're kind of going to deal with this movie. I mean, I get that there are people out there that don't want to be spoiled, and it's not going to be exactly true to the book or the comic. But I just don't understand. Is our brain seriously that wired now where we don't have the patience to read something?
It's all about
yes.
how you market it too.
I mean, it's just you'd think that there would be a bigger boost in these sales when they start mentioning, okay, we took things from this book and integrated them.
Maybe it should be like the comic book owners themselves. How you sell a comic is it's all about advertising. It's like, hey, if you like this movie, these books right here were based off that, and this writer has written these other books, and so on and so on.
And the tough thing is just getting people in the door. We're in a society that anymore is just focused on this.
Yeah,
they're on their phones all the time,
Yep.
swiping, and you're getting 5 to 7 seconds of content before you're looking at something else.
Sure.
And so to sit down and read an actual book, God forbid, or, even a comic, that's, I think that's a tough pull for people to do. Whether I agree with it or not, I just think that's where we're at,
Well, it's just like the newspapers. Like, you take away electricity, you still have those things.
Right.
You can read them.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful to read, and just the experience of going into a comic book store, just smelling that new paper smell, and just,
have something tangible in your hands that you can look at and enjoy, and it's
so much in there to take in.
Yeah.
And or like you have the internet, so if you don't want to really waste your time or your money, find comics out on the internet that have been like great ratings, or they're based off a movie, and just go for those. And
Comixology is just strictly a digital platform, I mean, you can read pretty much anything there. And I don't know, it's there's so much. And you can't say comics, well, they've gone up in price, blah 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 blah. And well, they have, and they kind of have to. When the numbers are smaller and smaller and smaller for people buying them, in order to keep creating them, they're going to have to continue to increase. These people have to eat, and continue to make content. So I don't know. If you're listening to this and, maybe you've gotten out of comics a little bit, get back into it. Go buy something, pick something up, and at least just browse around, ask someone at your local comic store, hey, what's really selling well, or what's something really good to read. I will promise you those people will have a lot to say.
Oh, yeah.
They're happy to point to something.
Spread the word. If you got friends, hey, check it. Just like when you're a kid, check this book out.
Yeah, and most places have like top picks and employee picks and things like that. And, it's cool. It's fun and it's great. And, even if it brings you into it, get something old, get a trade paperback, something that's already been published. And, does that spur your interest enough to get into it long term? Hopefully it does.
Well, and I think it also helps if you really want to help the industry, not just to buy, but if you are comfortable enough and you want to have a voice, you can start up a YouTube channel or whatever, or podcast, and you can review these comics, go in depth. There's an audience out there, and you can help bring people in, and, oh, that book, that sounds really cool. I'm going to go out and buy that book. Or, sometimes we've recorded and afterwards one of us has gone to the comic book store because somebody mentioned the book. It was in the news also. And I really don't want that industry going away. It's very special, and, it's sad. These movies should be helping the industry, you would think, but it's
and then on a month where you're supposed to have an economic boom and things
Christmas
like that, and you see a huge decrease in a market. It's like, gosh darn
ouch. It's like, I guess I don't need heat.
Right?
Turn that off.
I ate last month. I'm not hungry. Oh man. So anyway, that's just want to bring that up. I was reading online and saw some of the sales numbers, and I was like, geez, that's kind of that was a big shock.
Wake the people up.
Wake the people up. So, watch lists. Watching stuff on TV. I just put down a few things. I added X-Files.
Cool.
So, X-Files is, it's back now. The second episode was just the other night. I've watched both of them. And I've liked them both. I know there's like a 20-some% drop from episode 1 to 2 in viewership.
Ooh.
Huge drop.
Wasn't this the second season of the of them bringing it back? I thought
this is the second. Yeah.
Right.
So, and it's, I think, another 6 episodes? I know it's something short. Right. I don't remember the exact amount of
Fox,
episodes. It's
right?
on Fox. Regular TV.
I don't think that they did a very good job of promoting it, though, because all of a sudden, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, and to my credit, though, I don't watch enough regular TV anymore. I'm a straight Roku guy, so I have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and HBO Go. Sure. And, get some of
a lot of commercials and
I'm not, but I mean there's other venues, the website ads, IMDb. I mean, push it through electronically. Don't just rely on your Fox TV marketing for it.
Yeah, well, how many shows are in these new seasons? Are they a full order?
I think they're only like 6 episodes.
Okay, so they're kind of like a mini-series type of deal, which I think is the best way to do it with all these rehash of sitcoms. I'm not sure if Will and Grace has done that approach, but their viewership has gone down. I think it's awesome to bring back these like retro shows that are very, dear to us from the past, but I think they should have like a limited run. Then there's time to breathe a little bit, and then if you want more, they'll bring more back, but it's not going to like outdo its welcome, Yeah,
and X-Files has taken that approach, and honestly, I've enjoyed it, since it's come out. They're really dealing with current type stuff, having an administration that's not a big fan of the FBI, and it's cool how they can integrate today's stuff, technology stuff, and whereas back in the early 90s they didn't have a lot that they could really pull a reference from. But that's pretty cool. It's it's fun to see Mulder and Scully with some modern technology in their hands and doing that sort of thing. But I've been watching that one. That one's pretty good, so I recommend that to anyone. It's on Hulu too.
Oh, cool.
So,
Awesome.
if you want to catch it, it's still out there.
Well, and I heard that who plays Scully again?
Gillian Anderson.
I heard she's leaving X-Files.
Yeah,
That's a bummer.
yeah. This will be her last go, so I don't know if they'll do any more. I don't think the plan to do more is without both of them.
Right.
So this could be the deal. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
And who knows? They both have said that in the past.
Yeah. Could
And
be
then
a
they
contract
changed their mind.
thing, maybe.
Right.
Hopefully. Yeah. It's funny because she was on the Nerdist years back, and they were talking about like, oh, you should revive X-Files, and they actually were like pushing like Twitter hashtag out there, and now we have Roseanne coming back and other shows. Yeah, it sucks because I enjoyed them coming back. If they can finish out their story per season, these shorter seasons, and at least you have an end to it.
Yeah.
Did they? Because I know they had an X-Files second movie come out a long time ago.
Yep.
Did they incorporate any of that into the series? Like,
Not really. No.
Does it ignore anything that happened before? Or
It ignores it, but it doesn't like act like it never happened. They don't revisit.
they just
it.
move on. They're not.
Yeah, they're really into the mythology piece of it right now.
Okay.
Going back.
It's not like a sequelized show.
So the whole mythology of the first X-Files, the whole alien piece, the takeover and all that, they're addressing a lot of that stuff, and
Sweet.
which is cool because that's the stuff that people wanted wrapped up and never got wrapped up, and X-Files is cool when they have off episodes that don't really address the main storyline,
Right.
and it went long enough that it could do that, but wrap it up. So it looks like they're working on it, so we'll see.
Right.
But I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a couple very familiar faces if you're a fan of the show that came back in these first two episodes, and so if you like the show back in the day, give it a shot. It was pretty cool. And then Travelers, I know Josh and I are big Travelers fans. I think you're ahead of me now, aren't you?
If that, or like a little bit
Right
behind.
around there,
yeah.
Season 2 of Travelers is out on Netflix, and we're hoping for a season 3. If you haven't watched that show, just say goodbye to your life because it'll be gone. It's one of those where it's
Join
just,
us, Mitch.
Yeah, join Mitch. Join. You have Netflix,
I do.
and Allie would like it.
Travelers.
Yeah. Jennifer loves it.
Oh, cool.
She hates sci-fi crap.
Yeah.
With a undying passion.
Yeah, just see the pilot.
Yeah,
You're going to be confused.
and if you're not hooked,
yeah,
by the acting and the quality of the whole production, it's a pretty amazing show. So synopsis: people from the future can transport their consciousness into someone who's dying today.
Oh, wow.
And then kind of take over that person's body and life, and they have a kind of a director from the future that gives them missions that they have to do.
Oh, cool.
So it'll help impact the future more positively. But it's all done in 21st century. It's a very real approach to sci-fi. Very well acted.
Yeah, it's very great writing. It's like Quantum Leap, except they never leave the body they go into. And once their missions are done, which I don't think they ever know what the end point is, but they're supposed to just live out their lives.
Yeah.
They're pretty much there forever.
And they know they're getting more missions.
Right.
So sometimes there'll be dead spots where they don't have a mission at all. And,
Oh, wow.
It's basically a team. There's 5 primary cast members. So you get to see them all interact together in their missions, and then you get to see their own individual storylines play out. So it's really neat. They have a lot of different ways they can go, and it's a pretty fun show to watch.
Yeah, they basically read like weak links on their people before they went into that person's body, and some of the information wasn't accurate, so they're having some surprises, and some of these people have families, so they have to maintain that. They don't break away from that. So
one guy's married.
Yeah.
So he takes over the body, and he has to go home to this woman who is his wife.
Right.
And he cares nothing about her at all the time, and it's got some really cool, awkward moments in that sense, but it's pretty cool. I would recommend it. 55 out of 5 stars. It's just amazing.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Show.
I strongly recommend it. It took me probably a couple episodes to understand all the technology and what they can do and why they do what they do, but it's once you get to know their way, it's really cool. If you like those like mission shows, Ocean's 11 type of like not heists, but sometimes heists.
Sometimes, yeah,
they have to do things, but it's on Netflix. Eric McCormick stars in it. Can't say enough good things about it. You can check it out.
Give it a go. Yeah,
watch it all tonight.
We'll wait.
We're back.
All right, so we're back. We won't talk too much about this one just because, we have another show entirely dedicated to this.
Yes.
But Star Trek Discovery
Yes.
is also out there on CBS All Access.
Yes.
Phenomenal show. Really takes a dark spin on what Trek might mean to a lot of people, while still feels like Star Trek. It doesn't stray so much that you're wondering, well, what the hell am I even watching? It's not like that at all. But it is. It's got its own mood.
Yes.
To it, without any question. But check out our Mission Report show where Josh and I talk about all things Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
We just recorded a show the other night.
Yep, we did. Should be out anytime.
Yeah. So check that out and check out the show. The show's really good. I'm not sure how All Access has been doing. Do you know?
I think it's been pretty good. I think they've been happy with the numbers.
Performance is good. Okay.
And Discovery got a season 2 greenlit. So yeah, it's basically all the written canon we know of is still valid in this universe. They just refreshed the look of everything across the board.
Yeah.
It's very attractive and
Sure.
the budget's high, so it looks expensive.
It
it's
looks
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really, it's almost like feature film quality per
Oh, wow.
episode.
Yeah,
Just
every
with all the
episode feels like a
technology.
movie almost.
Right.
It's pretty neat.
Right. Yeah. Highly recommend it. And, we'll talk more about this in the future, but Amazon Prime has made a deal with All Access. I'm guessing it's probably after the season wraps that All Access will get the show, the whole season.
To Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so you can
cool.
binge watch it all at once. And you can do that now with the All Access. That's what's nice about it. And,
you can see every episode
Yeah. So
up to this point.
I think All Access is a pretty good streaming service, and there's several other things on there. So,
and the captain of Discovery is you don't know whether you want to hate him entirely or love him. He's just
right. It's not your typical captain.
he's not your typical captain.
Like, they got quirks, but they're a good guy. Like,
I'm
this guy's
actually
like,
scared of
whoa.
this person.
Oh,
He's
me
a
too.
fictional character.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, someone like that comes around. It's like,
And I'm scared of Jason
crap.
Isaacs, who
Yeah.
plays him.
Exactly.
He's a great villain. He's
Yeah.
been in
Oh,
several
man.
movies. The Patriot.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's still not a villain in Star Trek, but he's
We
the
don't
captain.
know.
We don't know.
We may never know.
We may never know. But
That's okay.
The guy is
Keep it complex.
he's
It's okay.
intense.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy crap! And then the Orville,
Yes.
with Seth MacFarlane's
Yeah.
his nod to the Next Generation Star Trek almost really blends. It's you can call it a dramedy, but it's not a typical Seth MacFarlane show where if you're looking for just fart humor or just something like that, you're not going to get it here. And in fact, he does maybe if there's 10, 15 jokes in the show, he does maybe 1 or 2 of them.
Sure.
It's everyone else because he plays the captain, so he has to do it pretty straight. But he obviously has a huge love for the genre. Everyone knows how much he's always loved Star Trek,
Of course.
and so his treatment of this has been pretty stellar. I was hesitant to watch it. I love Family Guy. I'm like, I just don't know if I want to watch a live action Family Guy. And that's how I just pictured it, and couldn't have been more wrong. It was just amazing.
It's a really good show, and I'm glad I ignored the critics because critics still, I don't think, are loving this show, but the audience is there, and it's not. I think most critics just wrote it off. They didn't really look into it. They were just assuming it's another like Family Guy.
Right.
Of course, he's hated by a lot of people for many reasons. And I'm not the biggest fan of his, but I like his stuff, and I've seen his movies, and
Yeah.
You know, like Ted, I'm not really crazy about. I did like his Western movie he did.
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. It's a fantastic show. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. And, you know, you're right. People don't like him sometimes, but he's just brutally honest.
Yeah.
You know, he not afraid to pull any punches on the shows.
Not afraid to call people out.
Not afraid to call. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Some
man.
very big call outs.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about that recently, too. You know, the Kevin Spacey joke.
Yep.
Who else did he?
He's called out Weinstein. He's also
That's
called
right.
out, what is that guy? He's got silver hair. Richard Gere.
Oh, yeah.
He's made several Richard Gere jokes about gerbils.
Yeah, so he really is not afraid to call people out. And so I get why people maybe aren't on the Seth MacFarlane train.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, the guy is genuine. He's insanely talented.
Mm-hmm.
And he's another one of those guys where, you know, a lot of people follow him from show to show. You know, you see people, the guy who voices Cleveland in Family Guy,
Yeah.
he's played a character.
Oh, has he?
Orville.
Nice.
And you can just tell in the voice a little bit every now and then. So I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, sure enough, that was him. A lot of the same people that are involved with his shows are involved with the Orville. And, you know, the guy's just, to me, he's a comedic genius. He's a good actor. He's musically insane. He's
Right.
he's kind of a prodigy, you know, and,
Well, I'm a little bit behind on the Orville, but has there been a musical episode yet? Because I
No.
can see it. I can
There
definitely
hasn't,
see it coming.
but,
Some dance numbers.
yeah, I mean, they do a lot of callbacks to old music to them, which is you know, kind of our era type
They're
stuff.
watching movies on the bridge. On the
Oh,
street.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Fun.
cool.
Or a TV show, whatever. I mean, were they watching Seinfeld?
Yeah, something
with
like
the
that,
surgeon? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Episode where Kramer drops a junior mint into
Oh,
a
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
person being operated on. Yeah.
So yeah, they have some fun, you know, and they almost treat the bridge like it's an office sometimes. So, you know, there's some really cool, you know, just funny moments there.
Right.
But, you know, the second you think, oh, haha, this is just a funny episode, it's not. And then it'll turn serious. And,
Yeah.
and so there's a huge balance, you know, which is why I like the show. You know, I mean, I can see something that's
got a
got
lot
some
of
good
heart.
action. It's
A lot
got a
of
ton
heart.
of heart.
Mhm.
It's hilarious sometimes and really good cast.
The prank episode people have to watch with the android. I forgot the android's name, but
Remember?
as you know, as an android would do, probably he took his prank a little too far.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to spoil it, but it's
Let's spoil it.
Yeah, go
Mitch
for
ain't
it.
gonna watch it. So,
sweet. Yeah, it might be the same episode they saw the Seinfeld thing.
It might
He didn't
be.
understand the humor,
Right.
Because they're all watching it, and the robot's just like, I don't compute, you know, what
yeah.
this means.
So he did a prank. One of the guys on the bridge did a prank on the robot. Didn't really get it, you know, and explained to the android that, you know, well, the funny part is pranking someone back.
Yeah.
You know, and so the guy wakes up and his leg has been surgically removed.
He tries to walk and falls.
Oh man! And the android was like, "I got you," or whatever he says, you know. But it was
As he's hopping to the bridge,
right, yeah. So it was really a great example of Seth MacFarlane's 0 to 60 humor. You know, taking something to the nth degree, and
well, and he hit the leg too. And
Yeah.
then there's another scene where so and so are in a break room, and it just drops out of the light
like,
fixture.
yeah. Just,
Surgically removed.
oh, so great.
Well, and then he decides not to get it put back on, but
Yeah.
like a new one
Yeah.
put on, so it's growing and it's like
Oh, yeah.
long and weird looking, and
Yeah.
just like dragging it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just there's so many. One person on a bridge wants to drink soda, you know,
Yeah.
just all these little quirks. But then it has moments where, you know, like the Klingon species guy, he's their Klingon,
Yeah.
he's their Worf, if you will. And I don't recall his species, but they had that great episode with his child.
Oh yeah.
They had to go back to the planet. There's an issue with the child. I don't want to give that away because it's
Right.
really, really heartfelt and
Yeah.
actually just shocking. I mean, this show is truly a dramedy.
Yeah.
It really is.
It has a lot of just great elements of both. You know,
It does.
Totally nails it. And sci-fi has never really tackled that.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know?
think they have.
And so Seth MacFarlane, hats off. huge fan. I couldn't be a bigger fan of this guy. It was just a great show.
It's hard. It's like right between serious and like a parody.
Yeah.
That's the line it's on, where it draws.
And
whatever.
it doesn't go to either.
Right.
And it
It's a
holds
balance.
it
It's a
holds
balance.
that balance. It's pretty cool. And one of the other bridge guys, they find out like way late in the series so far that he's just off the charts intelligent. His tests and his performance in academy was just huge, but all he wants to do is just a simple stupid job. And so they're trying to make him more than what he is, and he's just like, I don't want to. So it's kind of dealing with normal type situations, but in the future, and
Exactly.
pretty fun show.
Yeah.
So watch it. It's on Fox. It's also on Hulu. So if you have that, you can catch up on it and give it a shot. I'd at least give it a shot.
I will.
First episode,
Yeah.
at least, maybe see if you like it.
Yeah, go on the Fox app. That's
Okay.
what you can do.
Oh, yeah.
And you can even I think put it onto your TV. Cast it,
Yeah.
Chromecast it, whatever. So yeah, there's that option.
Okay.
Totally. There's commercials, of course. But
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it's okay. It's
It's worth it.
yeah, totally.
Pretty fun
is.
stuff. And then we got Black Panther coming out in February.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's a big movie. Big
Sold
movie.
out, you said?
Yes, it sold out in 15 minutes.
Wow.
And one of the stars,
Lupita?
Lupita Nyong'o, she couldn't even get tickets, and she helped
Promote
let
it,
everyone know
yeah.
about the pre-sale. Yeah, so that's very funny. Of course, she'll be invited.
Oh,
to
I'm
the,
sure she'll be there.
Hollywood premiere.
She'll probably
so,
get a seat, I'm
Yeah.
guessing,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
she doesn't really need to worry about our tickets.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a nice red carpet,
Yeah.
and it'll be all over the world promoting this film. Very excited. I hope it lives up to all the hype. I mean, I think this is another Wonder Woman moment, really, for the I think for the African American community, and of course fans in general who
Right.
love this character.
And this one doesn't look like it's overloaded with, buddy cop humor. You know what I mean?
No.
It looks like it's a pretty serious film. So I'm excited to take a look at it.
Ryan Coogler, he did Creed and Fruitville Station, so he's a great director. He's a young director.
Yeah.
This is like maybe his third film. Yeah, he's very powerful. He really was able to, rejuvenate the Rocky franchise with Creed, make it
Right.
interesting.
It was amazing. Creed
yes,
was amazing.
And
Creed 2's in the works.
right, and he's
so-
producing that. He's not directing it, but he's producing it. So probably because he's dedicated to Black
Right.
Panther. This, it's a great project. I'm glad Marvel's getting these awesome directors. At first, just like with Keaton in Spider-Man, the negotiations fell through, and then they were able to overcome it and work on it and get to come to an agreement. So, yeah, he was able to do this film, and it's visually breathtaking.
Right.
The world's huge. The most advanced technological society on Earth.
Right.
And yeah, I can't wait to see all their gadgets. And I think
Yeah.
he's got like a few more new suits, and they have like all this tech with them. And
Steve Rogers will be in it.
yeah, will he? Will he
think
be in
so.
Black Panther? Oh, yeah, he might be.
I think there was a cameo, if I'm not mistaken. But
Right, because Bucky's still
Right.
there recovering or...
So at least that's my hope. I'm just
Yeah,
assuming
well,
just how the story's kind of
If
going.
he's not, you're going to see him in like 3
You'll
more
see him
months.
yeah. So that'll be cool too.
Yeah, so
So,
yeah,
yeah.
for Marvel, we're going to have Black Panther, we're going to have Infinity War, and we're going to have Ant-Man and the Wasp
Yeah.
for this year. And they just wrapped filming on Avengers 4. So it's they're doing it right.
Yep.
Like even if you're a DC fanboy, which I think most of us are. I mean, I like them
Yeah.
all, but yeah, I'm a big Batman guy. That's why it pains me for. I can admit that Warner Brothers is not doing the right thing here,
No.
and just a waste of opportunity to try to catch up, but not really commit to that.
Right.
Marvel's they're just doing it, and a lot of these directors I think help break that comedic formula up,
Right.
because it gets overused. I agree with that. Thor Ragnarok was, I thought it was a great, fun film, but yeah, it was too funny. I thought,
Yeah.
like we could have had some serious moments. It's not perfect, but I definitely like the director of that, Taika Waititi. So, he's very, very funny guy, and I think that's just what they need to keep doing. I think Warner Brothers needs to take note, and of course they are. Patty Jenkins, that's huge because
Yeah.
that's actually someone who left Marvel. She was going to do Thor 2,
Right.
and that fell through. And yeah, Warner Brothers did a smart thing and grabbed her. And of course, they did probably have a lot of faith in what she
Right.
could do. Now they do, and that'll be a challenge, like we said. But it's an exciting year. I mean, sadly, The only thing from Warner Brothers is going to be Aquaman.
Yep.
That's the only thing, but that could really be something itself. And
hopefully.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. It's going to be a little different looking than what we got in Justice League.
Yeah.
Like the way they communicate underwater and the look in general. I don't think he has those contacts from what I've seen of like some stills, the upcoming movie. But yeah, and I also wanted to throw this in. I don't know if you heard, but Todd McFarlane's working on Spawn. This is his first directing job. Something he's been passionate about. He created the character.
Yeah.
And he's been wanting to make this film for over a decade, since the first one. But I guess it's low budget, so Spawn isn't going to talk in this film.
Oh.
He's going to be more of a predator. Like, he's going to be like, this is how Suicide Squad was described to me with Batman. Like, you're going to fear Batman. I really dug that. It didn't happen, but this is cool. I think it's going to be a lot in your head type of thing, which I think is the most creative you can get. It's challenging, but you don't have to worry about that CGI heavy junk, So I'm excited. Are you guys willing to see Spawn? Are you excited?
I'm willing to see it. I
want to see the trailer first.
Yeah. I love the book. It's still coming out every single month.
Right.
Todd McFarlane is he's a visionary, and
sure.
And he's a little polarizing to some people here and there, but you can't deny. I mean, the guy is an artistic talent.
I love watching him draw.
Yeah,
he does those videos all the time.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
On Facebook and
he's got that big computer screen. He digital draws.
He's just phenomenal.
He's like bloop bloop, and it's like Bob Ross.
Yeah,
but it's just
comic books.
Yeah, but
oh man, it's great. But we'll see what happens. I know the HBO Spawn animated.
That was great.
That was amazing.
I loved it.
The first Spawn movie.
I bought it a few years back, $5.
Yeah,
should have paid $2.50, I guess.
Yeah,
I saw it in theaters at the time. I had no idea who Spawn was.
I saw it in theaters as well.
The special effects probably helped me like it, but I never was like, "This is a great movie."
Yeah, I know. It was one of those where I walked out and I'm like, comic's so much better,
Right.
But I didn't hate it. It was just,
it
could have been a lot better than it was.
It could have, and I still think, I think it's Michael Jai White. I still think he'd make a great Spawn still,
Black Dynamite.
Yeah. I gotta see that. I heard that's really funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah. He's one of those that should have got more movies and bigger parts.
Yeah.
It's too bad. But yeah, I'm excited about Spawn, and yeah, there's just so much to be excited about right now, and I don't think it's dumbing down anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And if it's dumbing something down, it's because you're letting it.
Right.
I mean, there's plenty of other brainy movies out there that are making $7, if you want to watch some of those. Yeah. Those will get all the critical accolades anyway.
Yeah. They haven't stopped making those artsy films.
No, they haven't.
Or films in general. Look at The Commuter.
Yeah.
With Liam Neeson, he's pushing 70 and he's still doing this action bit, and I heard it's shit. Why don't attack movies like that? Because that's what we got before we got all these superhero movies.
Yeah. Sequels aplenty, or like you said, remakes.
Yeah.
Starsky and Hutch, seriously?
No. Please no.
I never saw it, and there was a 70s cop show. Mm-hmm. But we're remaking it, and it's going to be hilarious.
Well, Green Hornet, it's that same approach. 21 Jump Street, somehow they mastered it, but still was like, if you loved the original show, you were going to be pissed off.
So we'll see about Green Hornet, though, because that same person directing it is directing Suicide Squad 2. Gavin O'Connor. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So we'll see how that's treated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
So we'll see. That's upcoming.
Sure. I want to recommend something. I just saw this on Facebook like yesterday or day before. Someone took a mashup of all of these action sequences from like all these superhero movies, and most of them are not great movies.
Yeah.
But man, they had some really good scenes. Like Green Lantern was thrown in there.
Oh wow.
The battle at the end. Yeah. And just watching all these, like, man, if I hadn't seen these films, I would think like, wow, these are all amazing movies. I gotta go see them. And it's just like, ugh. But it's cool to match them up. You get something out of the bad.
Well, and that's just it. Even the bad movies have cool parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And, you might not like the whole movie as a whole, but, there's always cool things to everything, if you're just looking for it. Well, anything else before we head on down the road?
No,
I think that's it.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, awesome show.
Sure.
We appreciate everybody who listens, and we'll be back sometime in the next 6 months with our next show. Hopefully in the next week or so.
6
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back in the next week or so, and Josh and I will be back in a couple nights for the next mission report to
Yes.
talk about tonight's Star Trek that's going to be out. So
I'm very excited.
yeah, I am too, man. It's a lot of cliffhangers. It's almost a cliffhanger every show, it seems like now.
I know, it's too much on the heart.
It is. Yeah, it's one of those things where if I didn't like it so much, I would just wait for like 4 series to be done, 4 seasons, and then dive into
Exactly.
it, But
Exactly.
yeah, it's too much fun to not watch. So,
Right.
but well, yeah, we'll have a great week, everyone. I'm Steve.
I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
We'll see you later.
Take care.
I hope your kid grows up and does a lot of good stuff.
And doesn't get any girls pregnant.
And doesn't get any girls pregnant.
So you think I might screw up?
I didn't say that, sir.
Well, no, but you implied that you don't think I have the balls to do this job.
Well, I am your doctor, sir, and if your balls aren't to par, I'll know.
Can you dance or play an instrument?
I can drink an entire bottle of tequila and say the alphabet.
It's like she's not even herself.
Could be drugs.
Our first officer is not on drugs.
This whole ship's on drugs.